Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are so inclined. In today's video, we've got this, the HyperX Cloud Stinger Core Wireless Gaming Headset. Another great name for a headset. Now this thing comes in at only 80 quid for a wireless headset, so I thought I'd definitely have to give it a go, and it is compatible with both PC, PS4, and apparently the PS5. Obviously not being able to test that. Now this thing does say here that it's up to 17 hours of battery life. It's definitely not, guys. I got about 10 at best, so I suppose their testing methodology is probably just leaving it turned on at minimal volume with very little going through the mic, or something along those lines. It also says here in the top left corner of the box, #1 bestseller. That's not this headset, by the way. It's not been out long enough. All this is referring to is, it says here in the fine print, them as a manufacturer, they're selling the most in the USA. Not necessarily the rest of the world. However, the USA is the biggest market, so it does count. Anyway, we'll move on to the mic test. Now, I want to warn you, it's not the greatest mic in the world, but this is an 80 quid wireless headset, so honestly, there's not that great deal that you could actually expect from it, but let's give it a shot anyway. It's okay. For 80 quid, you can't expect anything amazing. I can see it on the computer kind of clipping at certain points where it's just topping out that audio, and it is quite nasally, as a general rule with this headset as well, sadly. But again, £80, that's the key thing here, you have to remember that. It's rare that you'd get a wireless headset for less than 100 quid, so I'm really quite impressed with that pricing. But anyway, I think we'll move on and we'll have a look at the actual build quality of this thing, see what it's like, see if it's a bit plasticky, because I'm not sure if that's picking up in the mic. Yep, I can definitely see it on there, and it rattles through the entire headset. But anyway, we'll move on to that now, and we'll take a look at just how well this thing's been put together, and what the sort of spec is for it. Now, when I said earlier that this headset comes with very little things in the box, I wasn't joking. It's very much a no-nonsense headset. So there are 3 items, one of which is the paperwork, so great stuff. Instructions, and then other products that HyperX sell, that's all fantastic. Then we get this, the charging cable. Now this, however, is USB Type-C. Now it amazes me, if a headset that costs £80 can have a Type-C charging cable, why can't literally everything else? So good work on that front, good work on that front, but don't feel that you could wire in with this. It's about 40 centimeters, and it's definitely not something you can wire in and use. There's no functionality of that. You also then get this, the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi receiver. It's small enough to not block off any other port, so that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, but that just is what it is, like all the others. There we are. Now onto the headset itself, given that we've run out of things to talk about in terms of accessories, I suppose, and definitely no carry case. Again, a saving of money, I'll take it. Now the headset, the first thing I have to do in regards to the build quality, I'll put the mic down or it's not a fair test, but... Oh, that's very, very rattly. It makes it feel very cheap, and it is just plastic everywhere, except these for the headband, but I don't feel that this steel, that it wouldn't sound too bad if the rest of the headset didn't just violently vibrate once I did it. Now, I don't think the steel band runs all the way through the headband itself. I don't. I feel it's just here. When I actually bend this, I feel like I could just snap it, which isn't a good thing, but then why would you be bending a headset that way? It's not really a test of durability doing that, but it doesn't feel the strongest. It definitely doesn't feel the strongest. It is pretty much just plastic everywhere. The ear cups are not very big. This is something I felt I need to mention. They're not very big at all, so it will just clamp your ear into your head. And if you do have smaller ears, they're not deep. And if your ear does sit on the inside, you are definitely going to get pinching. You can feel your ear pressed against the driver, and there is no padding there. I could actively feel the texture of the driver on my ear whilst playing. Now that being said, it wasn't the most uncomfortable gaming experience I've had. I did manage 4 hours without feeling overly bad, but I did find myself tampering with my headset, much to the annoyance of my friends, as we showed earlier, just pressing this sensor vibration through the microphone, but they weren't too bad, and for £80, I have mentioned the price a few times because we have to remember these are remarkably cheap for a wireless headset, so again, I'm not expecting the world with these at all, at all. In terms of the features on the side, very little again, there are 4. One of them is the power light. I feel I should mention it because 3 doesn't feel like enough. Next to that is the weirdly oversized power button with the real old school sort of standby button on that. Then you have the infinity wheel for the volume. It just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. Eventually when you get to the top, you do get a beep in your left ear to let you know you're there. And then we've got the USB input for charging. Again, USB, great work HyperX. Then onto the microphone. The microphone is auto muted as you raise it up. There is a notch about here You can just feel it, and that is the only thing that lets you know that you're actually on mute. There's no beep in the ear, and there's definitely no light at the end of the microphone. Again, just for £80, if that saved a few pounds to make this cheaper, well done. Well done, HyperX. But I don't know, it just feels very cheap. £80, I know it's wireless, but I'd expect it to feel a bit sturdier. I'd expect less of this. It just sounds a bit cheap and it feels flimsy. There are a few sharp edges, but nothing that comes in contact with any of yourself, to be fair, so I don't want to fully lay into them for that. But there's very little swivel with the ears. Again, it's just the tolerances of the material that's used that allow that level of flex, I would suspect. But yeah, there we are. I mean, we'll go on now, we'll have a bit of an audio test, and I'll let you know what it sounds like, because these are 40mm drivers. However, I do feel that calling it 40mm is just marketing. They are 40mm drivers, doesn't necessarily mean they're very good. But anyway, let's move on to the audio test. So again, I'm using the Division 2 benchmark as the representation for the audio test, but I have listened to at least 15 hours of audio through this headset, so it's not based just on this. And remember, the audio that you hear at your side is not the audio that I get through the headset. But anyway, just to give a quick talk through, it's not great. I've got it. The 7.1 feature doesn't work very well, I must admit. But I'll step back again just so you can enjoy the ambience of this benchmark. Now the direction of the audio is fairly precise, to be honest. It's fairly precise. It just gets a bit mushy and muddled up, and it becomes a bit messy when there's a lot of it going on at once. But there you are. Now I mentioned this earlier, the 40mm drivers. Just because they're 40mm drivers doesn't mean they're better at all. There are various varieties of drivers. Now, yes, these can go quite loud, but they don't punch at any level. There's nothing there. At the high end, you can hear the high end. Of course, you've got treble, but there's nothing bitey about it. There's nothing that stands out. You can't hear those intricate sounds. At the low end, the bass is okay, but it doesn't punch. And the mids are almost there as just to fill the background noise. That's sort of how these feel, but they don't sound bad. They just sound bland. Average, at best, is what I would say with these. If they did have a 3.5mm jack, that may have improved it a little bit. If you did have the option to wire in, which of course with a battery life of around 10 hours in real world, then that would have been a good feature to have, instead of having to put them on charge literally at the end of every gaming session just to ensure that you do have a headset that works while you're gaming with your friends. But overall in these, in conclusion, do I think that they're a good headset? No. There are many good headsets behind me. Is it value for money at 80 quid? Yeah, I'd definitely say it is. The only thing I find bad about this is the rattle. That's it. Other than that, things are okay. The mic is okay. The audio is okay. The weight of it is light, therefore it doesn't get too uncomfortable. So is comfort okay? Yeah, it's all okay. It's just an average headset. If you really want the convenience of a wireless headset, and you've only got up to $80 US, £80 to spend, then yeah, this is probably it for you. If you could stretch a little further, it's definitely better having a look around that price range. If you're willing to stretch to 100 USD or 100 quid, definitely have a look at, there are a plethora of headsets at that price. If you are stuck at the $80 mark, look for a wired headset. If the wireless feature of this, which, yes, it's very convenient. I will say I always go wireless just for the convenience of it. But if you're not that fussed, then I'd definitely look at a wired headset around 80 quid. You'll get something far superior to this. But anyway, it's not bad. It's value for money. It's okay. I wouldn't call it great in any capacity though. But there you are. The HyperX, Stinger, Core, wireless, whatever it is. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you did like this video, please do leave a like. If not, then, thank you for watching till the end, and I'm sorry I couldn't entertain you. Why not subscribe? All of that good stuff. We're getting towards 1,000 now. We're getting there. Winning. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a good day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.